We're ready. That's good.
Your name?
All right. My name is Mike Standish, and I'm from Issaquah, Washington. I'm going to tell a story about how I first heard of the Sounders. This was back in Stanwood, Washington, in around 1983. I was in third grade, and back then, Stanwood's only about an hour north of Seattle, but culturally back then, it was like living in Siberia. I mean, nothing ever happened in Stanwood. And one day at my elementary school, a couple of Sounders players came to our gym class and taught us soccer skills. And that was really exciting just because it was somebody not from Stanwood coming to town. And I had never even seen a professional athlete before. I had never heard of the Sounders. I had never played soccer. And these guys just kind of kicked the ball around with us, and then they were gone. And I was inspired at that point to play soccer. I was terrible, really, really terrible. And thankfully I was self-aware enough even then to know that, some of us are meant to be soccer fans and others are meant to be players, and I was the former rather than the latter. Cut ahead to 2008. The Sonics had just left town, and I was super bummed out and really angry and not in the mood for sports at all. And the next year, I started hearing people talking about this soccer team, and a couple friends of mine had season tickets for the inaugural Sounders season. And then, honestly, I was still really angry and just kind of like not in the mood for sports, and it didn't even occur to me that I could be a soccer fan. I didn't know anything about soccer. I hadn't played since, the early 80s, and I was bad. And for a couple of years, I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. And then finally, some of my coworkers dragged me to a game. I was like, fine, I'll go to the Sounders game. And as soon as I walked in, I got inside, and I was just like, oh, I get it. And I knew nothing about the rules. I didn't understand exactly what was going on, but I did know that I liked being there. And I kind of made up my mind at that point that I was just going to learn about soccer and teach myself how to be a soccer fan. And the great thing about the Sounders community is that it is really embracing of people who don't know about soccer, who are new. And I was totally new. And I used Twitter, and I just started talking to people, and I went to, I think the next season I went to about 3 games, and then I went to 10 games, and then I got season tickets in 2013 and have been a season ticket holder ever since. And it's become a really important part of my life, and I've made lots of friends, and I just can't wait to keep meeting more people. I remember the first moment when I felt like something really significant was happening, and it was Casey Keller's last game. And just being in that crowd and that just sheer number of people, and when he made all of those saves just in short order, just boom, 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 I don't think I've ever felt energy like that before. I mean, I just started screaming and yelling and it was so cool to be around 64,000 other people who all knew that something was happening that they would remember the rest of their lives. Like at that point, I was still just getting to know the team, and I kind of liked all the players. I knew I liked Ozzy a lot, just kind of right away. I just like, oh, that's my guy. And, I went out and bought an Ozzy shirt, and, it's like I bought out an Ozzy shirt every year since. So he's just, but that's the great thing about, I think, soccer more than any other sport I've ever been a fan of, is that you do have the ability to just kind of get to know players. And it's really wonderful to even go down to Starfire and watch training. You can't walk into the training of another sports team. Like they don't let you in. And to be able to go down to Tukwila and just spend the morning watching up close your favorite players just practice and get better, that's exciting. Cool?
Love it.
Yay.